Hey everyone, today we're quickly going to talk about 5 mistakes that I've been seeing contractors make in 2021, just to help you kind of avoid those costly mistakes here. So let's dive right in. First one, as we'll look into the page here, is incorrect pixel event setup. What that means is, as you may know, pixel events are the actions that people take online. What I've seen is that contractors, when they make your campaign, you set it to optimize for lead event, let's say, but they don't actually set up the lead on here. So it's really important that you make sure that you go to the pixel, you can open the set event tool, and from your website, you set up that event, right? If you're using a conversion objective for your campaigns, make sure you set this up for whatever events are important to you, and especially the one you want to optimize for the most. And that includes using this new aggregate event measurement, where if you go in, you get to choose the priority of your events, right? And you want to make sure that your top one, usually it's lead, to be your highest priority. Especially after iOS 14 made it a bit more difficult to track, but it is more likely to track the highest priority or the optimized event. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is using the wrong objective. So let me just quickly go here. I've seen that looking at different accounts when I'm doing audits for different contractors, they're using like campaigns or boosting posts or with like incorrect objectives or just traffic. And I'll say it again, and I've said it before. Lead generation or conversion events are the events you want to go for. Again, conversion events is when you send people to a landing page or your website, and lead generation is when you send them to an on Facebook lead form. Which one's better for you, that depends on testing. Both have their pros and cons, which I discussed in a different video. But make sure you just go to one of these, because really, if you want to just get likes or traffic, sure. But if you, by the end of the day, you want to get leads, that's what we're here for. Use one of these two events. Okay. Number three, narrowed targeting. What that means is, I've talked with contractors who, when I initially go into their account, their targeting is way too narrow. Their audience size is way too small. So let's take a look here. Okay. So we have here location, Canada, and let's say you're gonna let's say you work in Chicago. Chicago, mix it up for a second there. And we take out Canada. So the good thing about this niche of home improvement, or for contractors in general, is that we don't need to target like a lot of e-commerce stores do if they sell like dog toys or something like that, right? The services you sell are more on a need basis that every homeowner will need, right? So a lot of them do this really specific targeting on here that's not necessary, right? We found that based on our testing, is that a lot of the times either broad and targeting works, which means that maybe you set your age to be a bit more realistic. Since we're targeting homeowners, you change like 30 or 35 or somewhere in between, and then you don't set a maximum limit. You make it to all genders, and then you leave this blank, right? And let the Facebook algorithm, which gets better and better, find the optimal people to become leads. Now, if you do add targeting, make sure you add interests, unless you also do demographics and behaviors. But from the interest perspective, you add one that are not the most obvious, not the top suggestions. So let's say I do HGTV to start here. I'm not going to pick later. HGTV. I'm not going to pick the first, the employer, but that's okay. So if I do the suggestions, I'm not going to pick the top ones, because those are going to be the most competitive, the most expensive, and probably the least converting as well. Make sure you scroll down a bit, you get some ideas. Maybe if you see something like Fixer Upper, or you find something that's similar, you can utilize those. Okay, but always make sure that when you're doing your targeting, you have enough of an audience. You know, if you have an audience of 50,000, it might seem like a lot, but it's really not, because if you're going through almost 1,000 of them, around 1,000 a day, in a month and a bit, you're going to be out of audiences, right? So you're really going to make sure to have a healthy number of audience. And next, I've seen a lot of creatives that aren't up to par. Some using stock photos and just not using images and writing that's really attractive. You got to make sure that you use pictures, from your work. You can use before or after images work really well, or videos, short videos of your work, time lapse. It doesn't have to be too much effort. Again, this isn't a Coca-Cola or an Apple commercial. The beauty with this niche is that you got to put images or short videos of your work, and that's enough to showcase your reputation, your professionalism, and the quality that you bring, right? Now, it's important to put a CTA. A lot of contractors don't put a CTA. They just see like, oh, look at this beautiful finish. You can have something like this, and that's it. But you should say something like, if you want to get this as well, get rid of your old blah, blah, blah. Click below, and we can help get you started. Get a free quote within X amount of time. All that. Just tell people what to do. If you don't tell them, they won't know, right? People aren't willing to put much effort. And last one that I have is number 5, the landing page or destination. So wherever you send people to. So it's really important, because your ad can be great, can be attractive, people click on it, but if your website landing page isn't up to par, then it's all for naught. So when you send them, if you send it to a website, you don't have the resources to build a landing page, send them to a page that has info, really bite-sized info about your services, what you do, why you're different, along with a button that'll take them to a contact form. If you can build a landing page, fantastic. Again, have your information, maybe testimonials, your services, and the contact form already built in to that form. Or you can do the on Facebook lead forms, which is great to do, as you have more tracking, especially after iOS 14. Have like some qualification questions in addition to the contact questions, to really get people interested and to have a higher quality lead as well. Okay, you really got to pay attention to the journey of someone from when they're clicking your ad to them becoming a lead, right? You got to really guide them through, and rather than let them, oh, they'll figure it out. They won't figure it out. They'll look around and then they'll leave. And those are just 5 things for 2021 to look out for, to improve. If you have any questions, if you have any doubts, feel free to let me know. Thank you.